Safety first.
I think we're ready to rock. That is so 1940s.
Spitting, scratching, spraying, and spinning. Are you feeling okay? Maybe you should have someone take your temperature.
Welcome to the old-fashioned three. They've been around basketball from the Big Dipper to the Greek Freak, from Russell Celtics to Curry's Warriors, from Peach Baskets to Paolo Banchero. Here are Whitey Gleason, Phantom, and Jerry Reynolds.
Yes, that was that cat, all right.
You guys are very learned observers of basketball, right? You're Mr. Basketball.
I'm Mr. Basketball, yes.
This gentleman literally is in so many halls of fame he can't keep track of
He
them
has
all.
no idea where he is.
Right? Because I
Right,
asked him
yeah.
yesterday about all the halls of fame he's in, and he named them. And then he came back today and said, "Oh, I forgot one."
Well,
That's why
my
he's wearing the
yeah.
hat.
What you
my
got?
son Jay, my son Jay said, "Way to go, Dad! Well, you was bragging on yourself. You forgot the most important one, the Indiana basketball.
That
Hall of
is
Fame."
the important
Yeah, he's got that hat on today.
Well, when
He
you got
said
so
that-
many to keep track of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said if you're going to brag on yourself, at least get the right ones.
So the credentials are impeccable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a question for you guys. Sacramento Kings, highest scoring team in the NBA and the most efficient offense ever, right? This
Yeah,
year.
absolutely.
Okay, so that team last night that lost to the Warriors, who was that? Who were those guys? What am I missing?
Wow.
What happened?
That's a good question.
What
That's a great
happened?
question.
I was asking myself the very same question last
I
night.
imagine Mike Brown was asking
I
himself
imagine
about.
he was, yeah.
Yeah.
He said, why can't my team shoot now?
20 points in the
Yeah.
first quarter, 17 in the first quarter of game
That's
two.
game two. Offense, schmoffense, as I said. I mean, that's the new philosophy. Defense, schmefense. Forget that, Jerry. We can't score a basket.
No, the defense has actually been pretty good. You know, just
What?
can't. I mean, for
Yeah, I know, but it's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's a
I know.
sliding scale.
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I do think the physicalness helps the Kings play defense as it does the Warriors.
Absolutely.
But open shots are still open shots, don't they, Whitey? I mean,
That's Mr. Basketball. I
Mr.
don't-
Basketball.
They are indeed, Jerry. Yes, they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in no halls of fame, but I'll tell you, an open shot is an open shot.
Yeah.
Now, you still have to shoot the open shot, and that's where the problem lies right now.
And it isn't the shooting, by the way.
No.
It's the making.
Well, you have to shoot, and then you have to make. So
Yeah.
there's two parts to the shot.
See, they're doing the shooting. They're not
Yeah,
doing
right.
the
Yeah.
making.
Right.
Absolutely.
These
They
numbers
don't
bear you
understand
out.
how to follow through.
See, it's
No.
amazing. You guys just watch the game and you know this.
Yeah.
I need like these analytics to
You got
tell
any
me
numbers to back that up?
wide open 3-point attempts last night.
Yeah.
The Kings had 27 wide open 3-point attempts. They made 6. Let's see.
That's
Through-
worse than I thought, Jerry.
Yeah, I didn't know what
Yeah.
happened
Wide
there.
open,
Well,
everything
yeah.
They stopped. It's like, uh-oh.
I've seen guys in practice who aren't even 3-point shooters drain open 3-point shots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To the level of at least 12 of 27.
Through 3 games, the Kings wide open 3-pointers.
Wide open.
Yeah. They've shot 72. They've made 19, which is a 26.4% clip. Which I think you're going to have a hard time winning a playoff series shooting a ball like that. I don't know.
I don't think it'd be a hard time. You're
Yeah.
just not going to do it.
Yeah. You're not going to stay on the court at the Y
No.
shooting 26% on open threes. No.
We got next.
No.
Not if you shoot
no,
like that. You
no.
know.
You got next. You're just not going to stay.
Or you
Yeah.
should, or you should shoot very few threes.
Yeah. Why don't you get that ball inside? Get that ball inside. Yeah.
Except really, you don't have a great inside game either. But that's
Not important now, Jerry.
yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, obviously the Kings are in tremendous shape here, but that was discouraging to me that you had this opportunity with no Draymond. I think that's what Chris Webber used to call him, Draymond. No Draymond
Okay.
Green,
All
no GP2, and the Kings struggled to score, and they just looked like they couldn't get anything going. The Warriors never felt them. A little disappointing.
Yeah, well, there's no question. The Warriors owned that game from start to finish, and Kings could never get anything going offensively. Fox had a game close to his ability, and nobody else really did. So there's that. But I still think, though, without Draymond, the Warriors are really a better offensive team. You've got, basically with Looney and Draymond, you got two guys you don't really have to guard on the floor at the time. So you got all kinds of opportunities to double. Now all of a sudden, whether it's Poole or
DiVincenzo or
or
whatever.
Moody, yeah.
who's very good, which
Yeah.
I like that guy. I think he's got a chance. But the spacing was so much better. And Looney got all the rebounds he and Draymond would have got anyway.
And he had 9 assists.
He literally-
And 9
well,
assists,
because he
yeah.
got the rebounds and kicked them
Yes.
back out, and no one defended
No,
the three.
he knows. He knows his lane. He stays
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
You know Ron Adams. You probably literally know. I
do,
know who
yeah.
he is. You probably know him.
Yeah.
A great assistant with the Warriors, great defensive coach. Apparently, a couple years ago, when Kevon Looney was breaking into the NBA, Ron Adams says, look, Loon, when you get the ball, we have Klay Thompson and Steph Curry on our team. Give it to them. And he's like, I got you, Coach. And it's paid off for him.
Paid off.
Sometimes when you follow simple instructions, it really helps everybody out.
And it's amazing how few will follow those simple
Really?
instructions. Yeah, that's always the thing. It's like they come out of college and most of them, think, well, come on here. I was drafted.
I'm the guy, yeah.
I always remember the fifth pick in the draft out of Kansas a few years ago. For
Ben McLemore.
God, the 6'8" guy, 6'9" guy. Robinson.
Thomas
There you
Robinson.
go.
Thomas
Robinson. Yeah.
Thomas.
What a bonus he fell to the Kings.
Yes. Anyway.
He's the guy you said everyone saw him and said, that guy's not 6'8".
Yeah, I remember first because they never worked him out or anything.
Yeah.
They thought he's going to go second or third at the lowest, and they wouldn't work out anywhere. He come out of the locker room, I remember, for the first practice, and it's like, where's Thomas Robinson? I see a 6'8" guy.
Yeah.
And then, but anyway, during the year, early in the season, about 10 games in, basically, I always remember, of course, he had already established that he wasn't particularly good, and Keith
Didn't
Smart.
take him long, huh?
Keith Smart was coaching. I think it had been a coaching change or whatever, and Smart said Thomas Robinson was bitching about his playing time. He said, Coach, you need to play me more. I was the fifth pick. He said, Thomas, the only reason I'm playing you at all is because you're the fifth pick.
Good by Keith Smart. I give him a little credit.
Yeah. He's like a lot of the coaches during that period. You're not going to win with those guys.
Mm-hmm. And that was on us. We should have come up with that name quicker. We left Jerry hanging. That's on us.
Yeah, but
our
we're
bad.
going through the line of King's disappointments.
It is.
We should have. I was thinking of Rafe LaFrance, and I don't think that was the right answer.
It was probably good you didn't say that.
No, I did not.
Good,
well,
no.
Actually, I just did. So,
the fact that I can't remember names, that's.
I'll tell you, Jimmy.
I'm
I don't care.
kind of
That's
trying to
all
remember
right.
who my wife is. I don't know.
She reminds you.
Lots of time before we get home to come up with that.
Yeah, it's
You've been
written
a season
somewhere.
ticket. You were a season ticket holder, originals King season
Original
ticket holder, and
STA,
so on
baby.
and so on. So hey, first two wins, incredible atmosphere, unbelievable atmosphere. But now, here come the Warriors. Perhaps. How you feeling about this King season? And I know
About
you're not
the
one of these guys that,
season?
it's great. They made the playoffs. This is wonderful. But how you feeling about
About
this
the-
series and
About
where
the
this whole
season,
thing goes?
I feel pretty good about the season. The series, after yesterday, I just look back on the first two games and go, boy, how do we win those two games? I mean, we're very lucky to win those two games, not because they didn't deserve them, but because of what you're talking about, the shooting. The team that is the best offensive team of all time by some metrics can't make a basket. And that's why you sit back after yesterday. And I do think it would have been better if Draymond Green was in the lineup. I really do.
I do too.
I really do. And
I do too. I don't think.
I think not having him, some of the younger guys, I think they like not having him around. Now, if you had over the course of the entire series, you want Draymond Green. But for one game, I don't think it was that bad, especially since it was a home game, not to have Draymond Green. But as far as the Kings are concerned, I feel they're very fortunate to be up 2-1. I didn't see anything last night that leads me to believe they can win Game 4. But all they have to do is start hitting some of the, take the shot and then make the shot. That would change a lot because for what you're saying about the Warriors last night playing much better, and of course they did, the Kings still, if they make a couple of open shots, they're right there all the time. I mean, you're 50-41 in the first half at the end. You come down, you got an open three, you miss it. You could have cut it to 6. They come down, miss a shot, get the rebound, kick it back out, get a 3, and they're up 12 at halftime. Those kind of things happened a couple of times. You hit a couple open shots, you're right there.
Yeah, every time the small opportunities the Kings had, and it didn't happen very often, but just when you thought, well, they're going to get back in this game, then they'd really screw up, turn it over, and both teams were sloppy, but the Kings were unusually sloppy with the ball. I think the assist to turnover ratio, I've always said the Kings to win need to be about 2.5 to 1. And they were barely over 1 to 1.
Well, Jerry, you're mentioning the thing that really is concerning me the most. And I know the talk is, what do you do with Keegan Murray and Herter? Sabonis, to me, 10 assists and 13 turnovers for the 3 games in this series. And obviously, he's got to be much better than that because he's one of our co-MVPs. And I texted out on our old-fashioned 3-thread last night. Jerry, thank you for texting back out in the wilderness there. The whole
Yeah, I delete.
I saw that. The whole Sabonis-led fast break just doesn't work for me.
Well,
He's coming down. I'm like, first of all, you're not going to stop and set up a 3-on-2 or anything. The jump stop, because that's not what he does. He's not going to go to the right, so you know that, and he doesn't go all the way to the basket anyway. So I didn't see what the point is from him getting it and coming all the way down, and then there's kind of a force field there, and nothing else can happen. So that didn't seem like the best way to utilize Sabonis to me.
Well, they're certainly they've scouted well, but I do think with Sabonis, I mean, him busting out of there with the defense, that's fine. You're creating numbers.
Yeah.
But he needs to find guards. By the time he's crossed halfway, he needs to find a guard.
Yeah.
And then get into his position, because they're really coming at him from different angles.
Right.
And then, the other thing with him, and I thought he played poorly for him, but the rebounding was fine and all that. And I thought defensively he's fine. I mean, he gets caught having to play wings too much, which isn't his fault. But it's the turnover. It's not the assist, because the assist would be there if they made shots.
Right. Yeah.
That is not even.
If we make 6 baskets, it's hard for me to get many assists.
Yes. Yeah. No. So but the turnovers and as to your point, I mean. And I think he's getting the ball in lower. They're just giving him so much space that rather than taking a 15-foot shot, or at least going at the defender, doing something, he's standing there looking for guys, and they're covered.
Yeah.
And the little screen
dribble handoff.
I call it screen and dish.
Well,
it's the screen and dish.
All I know is that there ain't no dishing going on, because
well, as you said, there's dishing, but there ain't no making.
Nobody's
making. Yeah.
So I just think he's got to just settle down and say, I don't have to make an assist every time I touch it.
Yeah.
I can move it, or certainly if they're going to give you 15-foot shots, take the damn
15-footer.
thing.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah.
Take it and chase it. That's it. I think you can
yeah.
pour in if he took every shot in the first quarter, I think they'd get more than 20.
I think the Warriors.
Then that's the limit right now. Just more than 20, will you?
Yeah.
They've done a good job disrupting the Kings' half-court offense, and that we like to think of them as being a team that runs up and down the floor, and they can do that, but they really like to play with pace in the half court. Mike Brown always says, we will play with pace in the half court. But they can't right now, because you could see it from the beginning of game one, the first possession, Sabonis, and you guys have talked about this, getting the ball, and then Looney so far off of him, and then there's no passing lanes. You get standing, and I think that has contributed a little bit to some of the poor shooting, because you're not getting the ball inside, outside. You're getting just those stand there, no rhythm threes. So that's part of it. But they have done a good job of cutting off the offense at the Sabonis source.
No, that's it in a nutshell, I think. And then, but even at that, I mean, they've had open shots. You can't make them,
no question.
I think the only second guessing I do, and I mean, not that it's right, but I still believe they need to try to post up Harrison Barnes more. There's mismatch, especially last night.
I saw it 1 or 2 times.
1 or 2 times.
He had 10 shots last night when no one else could score, and he scored 17 points. Like, maybe that's where the ball should have been going.
Yeah, I mean, and certainly he can even back guys down. He doesn't have to be in the low post, but make sure he's got space to go take Klay Thompson or whoever. I mean, they didn't match up with him very well at all.
No,
and I thought they were matching up with everybody else pretty good.
It's even worse, the Kings' poor shooting in the first quarter, because overall now in 3 games, the Kings are shooting 43% from the floor, which is not very good, and 27% from threes, which is really bad. In the first quarters, they're at 37% overall and 18% on threes. In the first quarter,
I'm surprised they're at 18, because I thought it would be 0, because I know they start out 0 for 10 or 0 for 8.
Yeah.
And usually it's Davion or somebody that has to come out and hit one.
Yeah.
Because the first 5 are going, we don't know what we're doing out here.
Yeah, he's been the go-to guy.
Yeah.
Get Mitchell in here. We need a 3.
and you see those scuds coming in there at these terrible angles, and he comes in. It's like, oh yeah, that's how you shoot a basketball.
The rotation on it and stuff. Yeah.
Well, then of course I think the other part of we always tend to forget, or sometimes we do, is that the Warriors have a truly great basketball player on their team.
Yeah.
And one that's
Patrick Baldwin Jr.
It is not him.
Okay.
No,
Right.
no,
it
but
is
a
not
good guess
him.
though. I mean, I'm glad
And-
he's involved in the game. yeah.
And when you have one of those guys, you automatically have an edge,
Yeah.
and he was the edge last night for
Yeah.
sure.
That's one thing the Kings have done well, right? Is when Curry's been off the floor and the Warriors neutralized it last night. But first two games, the Kings took advantage of Curry being off the floor.
Well, one of the ways too that. Of course, I'd said this some time ago, and damn, I was right again.
Man, that's why you're in so many halls of fame.
Yeah,
More than he knows.
Yeah, more than you know.
but I said Malik Monk has to average about 18 points a game for this team to win the series. And of course, the first two games, 25 or 32 and 18, and then last night 2 or 4, and
He's 1 for 9.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
said after the first game he doesn't usually follow it, and he kind of did follow the first game with a good game.
Yeah.
But then last night was the game that he usually follows the
yeah,
big
and
game
you know,
with.
in that second game he wasn't as good, but then he had those 3 straight threes that really
Yeah.
kind of got momentum going and everything. But I still will stick with that. I mean, he is so important to the Kings offense. I mean, more so than I think Herter is, or certainly Keegan Murray is. I mean, he's a guy that you count on going in there and not only scoring but making plays.
Yeah.
And when he can't do that,
Yeah, he went to the basket a couple times yesterday, and it was just like no good from the start.
Yeah.
There's like, I thought 7 Warriors
Oh, at
sitting there
least.
waiting for
I mean,
him.
Rick Barry was
Yeah.
in there. It's
Yeah,
like Warriors from
yeah.
the past are in there.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Alados that were like, come on, you guys, let's go. So, yeah, I mean, there was just a situation where he was almost Westbrookian. He just
Yeah.
went, I'm going,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try to shoot. And obviously they gave it back to him. So,
Yeah.
and then,
that's a good analogy, Westbrookian, really. Except,
go, Mr.
except
Basketball.
we do hope he shoots better than
Yeah.
Mr. Westbrookian. But,
That's right. And usually he does.
Yeah.
But last night it was like I'm going to the basket no matter what. It's not a
Come
real,
hell or high
not-
water.
Not a good chance of success, but I'm going anyway because nobody else can do anything either.
What do we do about Keegan Murray? He's not playing well, and he's just not helping you. 3 early fouls last night. They're targeting him. He's not shooting well. It looks to me, you guys tell me if I'm wrong, it looks like it's just going a little fast for him. It's understandable, but you play to win the game. So at some point, I mean, how long can I wait for him hopefully to snap out of it? At some point, I don't even know what another option would be if I try to get maybe Kessler Edwards to give me a few more minutes defensively. But what's up with Keegan Murray, and what is just sticking with him the best course of action?
Well, I think I would one more game. I'd be,
Because you hope. You never know. He might find it.
yeah, I mean, but you might give them a quick hook like they've been given.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, get the left-hander in
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But that I still would do that. I mean, he's been good enough. You think he'll come out of it? But
You need what he can give you,
But
huh?
you need what he can give you. But then I'd be willing to already have in my mind, okay, if we're going through the first 10 minutes of him with the walkabouts,
Yeah.
we'll get, to
What,
decide.
what do you think you might do?
Well, I might go Trey Lyles. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I just think he's got a chance to bust out and he'll rebound. I just like that choice.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
better than Kessler Edwards myself.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I know, but then you got to slide Barnes to the 3 or whatever. But I know
Well,
Trey
he's
Lyles
already-
is certainly.
Well, he's already been there, hasn't he?
Yeah. But
That's why I like Murray because everybody gets to stay in their spot.
Yeah.
and that's really good. And it would be a lot easier to put Trey Lyles in there if the last time I saw him shoot, he made any of them.
Yeah.
But I mean that's what you're going. I'm going to kind of like take a pass on this one and go. We got the coach of the year. I'm just going to let him.
whoa,
figure
whoa,
it
whoa!
out.
You're going to take a
I'm
pass?
taking
on this
I'm
one?
letting Mike Brown decide.
You're
I'm-
Mr. Basketball.
I'm Mr. Basketball, and I know when a guy's a unanimous coach of the year, maybe he's done
But that's
something
not the
right.
question.
Yeah, maybe he's done
Question
something
is
right.
what
Maybe
would- Question is, what would you do?
what would I do? I'd leave Keegan Murray in there.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I'd hope that, obviously, like you said, that you get a rookie used to the pace of play during the regular season, and this is a whole new pace of play.
Yeah.
But now he's been in there 3 times against the defending champions, and so let's see what happens in Game 4.
Well, the thing about Keegan, and I talking with Stones before we came on. it
Stones
was-
McCoy, him?
Yeah, it wasn't
I
in
like
the car.
when you get the
This
Stones-
wasn't even a car talk. This was
This is living room talk
living
before
room
the show.
talk.
Yeah, I like you
And-
guys
and
on
you
your
know,
living room
the
show.
thing that always struck me with Keegan, he's such a guy that wants to fit in, do right. I mean, the first time you saw him in summer league, the first couple games, he wasn't really very good. And then each summer league game, he got better and better and
Yeah,
better and better. And
didn't wanna
became-
step on any toes,
And
you
then
know?
started the season. he really wasn't that good. And then after a while, he got a comfort zone going and was quite good for the most part. Excellent for a rookie. And then I keep thinking, well, maybe it's the same thing. He obviously hasn't been good, not giving him a cop-out. And Coach Brown, to his credit, has given him a chance, but has not, not going to play him 30 minutes if you can't play. He's playing about 16 minutes.
Right.
So I think, and the fact that Coach Brown left him in there last night when the game was over, and he made a three
hit a
and
three,
got
right.
a couple of a little something going, and I think that's credit to Coach Brown. I mean, a lot of guys probably at that stage wouldn't have had any starter on the floor, but I thought he was doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll carry over.
Well, I understand it. If you decide Keegan can't help us in this series, not that they should or they would, but if you do, you're limiting how good you can be already, because you do need, like we said,
right.
There's things he does that no one else on the team does, and you need him to find that, and you got to give him chances. But at some point, you
well,
can't
yeah, and he's
at
been
least
a
get
40% three-point
Yeah,
shooter. I mean,
yeah.
it's like, what do the Kings need? They actually need some 40% three-points.
He's not the only guy that's not making threes, I think is the point you're making. Yeah, exactly. There are a couple of others.
How important is this? And sometimes when we talk about substitution patterns, kind of my eyes roll to the back of my head. But with Steph Curry, they changed. I thought that was one of the things the Warriors did, and my buddy Steve did last night. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet.
Really? I'm sure there's a couple of messages on
He's
your
busy.
phone from him. Yeah.
Did he run that by you before the game?
Well,
unread texts. I'm sure you have
I'm not
a
at
couple.
liberty to say.
Yeah.
But with Steph Curry, they sit him with 6 minutes to go in the quarter, bring him back at the end of the quarter. So they did that first, second, third quarter, which is different. Then he was available for the whole fourth quarter, which they didn't need him for because they were so far ahead. But it does, I thought last night, it's one of the things that threw a little bit of a curveball at the Kings because they've been trying to capitalize on those non-Curry moments. The Warriors didn't play as much zone as I know a lot of us thought that they were going to play. Poole starting surprised a lot of people. And the biggest surprise was the Warriors took care of the ball, as we know, in a way that they don't normally do. They took care of that basketball.
They did. Yeah, that's something you haven't counted on, really, has it? I mean, they've been so sloppy with the ball, but they did. And, the thing, it seemed like to me, I was thinking at the time, probably wrong, that Coach Kerr was maybe copying Coach Brown a little bit, how he uses De'Aaron. Because De'Aaron, they sub early and really are prepared to play him the whole fourth quarter, keep him fresh. Makes a lot of sense, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
The ball just came to you there, and you had a shot.
I mean, Kerr decided, Brown decided. Yeah, he's not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. What am I supposed to say? Boy, that Kerr makes some good decisions. Yeah, he's a pretty good coach. I know he's a personal friend of yours.
Yeah,
but you can talk about all the adjustments as far as that's concerned and everything, but
but apparently you can't.
No, because all I'm thinking of is the two things that Jerry and I talked about. You take the shot, you make the shot. Basically, that's what we're talking. It's a make or miss league, right?
It's a make or miss league.
And we're missing.
This series is not about make or miss. This series is about possessions, number of possessions, extra possessions.
Well, if you can't make
Offensive
shots, you can have a lot more possession. It won't make any difference.
It makes a little difference,
It
though.
does.
The more chances you get.
If you're shooting 20% and you get 20 more shots, you'll make 2 more baskets.
But if you turn it over, those are the possessions you're not getting back, right? Those are the ones that really sting you.
Kings had 9 more possessions in the first game. They had 10 more in the second game. And then last night, the Warriors had 8 more. They had 100. Warriors 100 shots on goal last night.
And they're taking basically 53s a game, right? I think they have 2 games in a row. They've
16 for 50 last night.
Yeah, and they took 50, I think, in game 2 as well. So I think they're just basically going to shoot 50. Or at game 1, I think it was, they took 50, and they were 27 of 40 on 2. So yeah, they're going to throw up 50
Mr.
shots.
Box score. That's all. He's right.
They're going to throw up 50 shots, and if they're going to make only 16, then that's 34 rebounds again. If they're going to get half of those or a third of those, that's something you got to limit, obviously.
Yeah, the offensive rebound has been huge, right? I mean, has it not? Yeah.
Looney MVP.
It's kind of why the Kings won the first 2.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm
and
glad.
the Warriors turned it over more in the first
Yeah.
2. Yeah, those kind of possessions.
Alex Lynn. Wow, he's like playing and contributing. Yeah.
When he came yesterday, I went, "Oh, good." That's something.
Yeah.
That's something I hadn't thought before, Jer. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
I know I'm Mr. Basketball. And Alex Lynn's coming. Oh, good. That's fine. I don't know that.
Yeah,
although we weren't making a shot, so it didn't really matter if he came in because
he did his part. But you're right. I think that's a scary thing. He was like, "Oh, good."
That's not the way you're supposed to. I wonder if Alex knows about that. He's probably pretty happy.
Well,
Somebody
I
liked it when I came in.
Was like me. I was really thrilled to see Terrence Davis come in the game.
I was shocked. I'm like,
You know,
So
wait,
was Moses
that?
Moody, who
Yeah.
he was guarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
like because and I'm sure Coach Brown's thinking the same thing. Well, Terrence, a lot of the games really gets it going.
Somebody's
and he
gotta make a
can,
shot,
and he
yeah.
had some good looks like everybody else and couldn't make them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know this is all water under the Tower Bridge now because we've had a game since Draymond was suspended. But how about Mr. Basketball? How do you think that? How do you think the league handled all that? Were you surprised?
I didn't think they would do what they did, but I'm really glad they did. I think that's exactly what they should have done. I think basically, especially.
I think he heard you yesterday.
No,
saying this, Jay.
well, obviously I did because I got an alert on my phone whenever Jerry talks.
Yeah.
Unless he's talking about Bark, but I'm just glad that they did that because the talk yesterday about, well, they shouldn't really consider what he's done in the past when they figure out the penalty. Well, that's all that you should consider. Obviously, the behavior and the past. I mean,
Recidivism, right?
Well, you're trying to when you're imposing these rules and sanctions, you're trying to modify behavior to get it to where you want it to be, and it hasn't worked with Draymond Green at all. So you've got to keep doing it. And obviously, he doesn't care when he's penalized, and so he just keeps doing what he's doing. And so the only way you're going to do that is you're going to have to go, well, okay, you're not listening, you're not paying attention. We've got to up the ante a little bit, and that's exactly what they did. And I just didn't think they'd do it because all these leagues pussy out when it comes to giving the the punishments and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they actually did it. I thought there were some people on the Warriors who were probably happy they did it because I think there's
I don't know. You may be right, but
I
I
think
don't-
there's some of those
I
young
don't
guys that I just think the specter of having Draymond around all the time, I think it's kind of refreshing to not have him around sometimes.
Well, I just thought I didn't think they would, but after I read Joe Dumars' statement on it, I thought, yeah, absolutely. Because he was actually trying to incite the crowd and the whole bit.
Yeah, that
and
was
I think the
horrible.
Warriors really were Bush League not trying to do more to get him under control.
Yes, because
because-
once he found out he was gone, he left right away. If he had done that from the
start, because but I mean with Dumars, I was just thinking. I said, now if there's a guy that really understands this situation, it'd be him. He played on the Bad Boy Pistons, and he was general manager doing the Malice in the Palace. And knows how some of those things can get out of whack pretty quick. And I was worried about that, where some fan might throw something at him. And I mean, had I been in the arena, if I had something, I don't know, it would have crossed my mind. But so I think they did the right thing. So that's my feeling. Of course, compared to that, I mean, and Joel Embiid doesn't even get
Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys
Well,
next.
that's-
Embiid and James Harden.
Holy
yeah.
cow.
How would you meet it? Because you're going to be commissioner someday. We know that.
yeah.
So how would you meet out?
They better hurry up.
Yeah. So you would give it.
There's a time limit on that job in your case.
So Embiid would have gotten the flagrant 2. How about Harden with the whack to the old ball rack of Royce O'Neal?
I'm not as sure about that. I mean, it's like one thing I know where he kind of hit him, but I'm not sure that it's hard for me to say he was for sure intentional because as a dribbler, you're trying to.
It was kind of like, I don't know, but I know.
Yeah.
I mean, we know, but we can't. We don't know, but we know.
But you can't.
Yeah.
And if it really been, he didn't really get him as much as he'd like, probably.
Yeah, but
I
that's
mean,
the Embiid
But I
thing.
mean,
Are
for
you
Embiid,
accusing Royce O'Neal of testicle flopping? Is that what you're saying? he's
Testicular
doing?
floppage.
That he
Yeah.
got hit and
Well,
he pretended.
guilty
well,
as charged, sir.
and that's hard to judge. I mean,
Well, yeah, without some sort of replay, aren't you?
I mean, I have flopped around a few times.
exactly.
And people might not have thought it was.
Exactly.
And there was zero floppage.
Yes.
There was,
That's my point.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to have a little more floppage. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. But the Embiid thing, I thought that was just terrible.
A kick. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he
Yeah.
clearly kicked him.
He's sitting there thinking, I'm going to kick him, and he kicked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the first thing you got to do, I think, is you go back to Iverson and Tyronn Lue or whatever, and you go, no more step overs.
Yeah.
This step over thing is just got to go. I mean, that's inciting it. Now,
that might be
doesn't
why they
it
were-
doesn't excuse
Yeah.
Embiid. I'm not
Somewhat
saying
lenient.
that.
That might be
but
why they
that
were,
is-
though, rightly or wrongly.
We're talking inciting. That's an inciting act as far as I'm concerned because you're stepping over him like that. And then Embiid, I don't think he planned it out. I think he just responded and said, get out of my face, that kind of thing when, the other end. But I think there's too many things, Jerry, that are happening. It's like, you guys, come on.
Well, all I know is if it had been anybody but Joel Embiid, they'd have thrown him out of the game. Right
I'm
on
glad
the
they
spot.
didn't.
You think
I mean,
so?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
If Tobias Harris had did that, he'd have been out.
Okay,
of there.
anybody
Yeah.
else? I'm Maxey?
Not Maxey. No.
Maxey would have stayed. Yeah, Maxey would have stayed. Okay, let me. How good are you? Okay, you're really good. You
Yeah.
stay.
You're a superstar. It's early in the game.
Yeah.
You know how
He's
NFL
not crippled.
NFL coaches
that
have
we
the,
can see.
the
That we-
chart that tells them when to go for two.
Yes.
They probably NBA officials have a chart. Okay, how good are you?
Yeah,
You did
yeah.
this. Let's see.
Well,
how
it's
far
color
I am.
coded.
Yeah.
If you're
yeah.
in the green, you can get rid of him. If you're in the red, no,
Right.
that guy stays in the game no matter what. Now Draymond used to be green, but he's moved up to red now.
Yeah.
He's still Draymond Green.
Yeah, he definitely. Yes,
Yeah.
green is in the red.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think we solved that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah, I was disappointed with some of the things I read and heard in the Bay Area media that I wish I had. I may have it here somewhere, but I don't want to waste your time. But someone actually wrote, well, you can't blame Draymond for stepping where he did, because if he went backwards, he could fall, and if he went forwards, he could pull a groin muscle. So what's he supposed to do other than stomp on the guy's chest?
Yeah, he
Come
said,
on, we're better than that, are we not? No matter who you're pulling for.
There's nowhere he could step, but there was somewhere he could stomp. And there's a difference between the two, I mean,
Yeah.
he could lose his balance, okay.
Well-
No, but you don't stomp down
Well,
the
and
guy.
I think, too, I thought is a really a good move to boo the guy who got stomped. I think you should,
yeah.
you get your chest out of the way next
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Well, because I think
He did grab his leg, and
Yeah.
he was.
and that's right. You shouldn't do that.
And
yeah.
he shouldn't do that. And it was
Yeah.
technical.
Yeah.
Just like and flagrant, just like it should have been.
But Jerry, you're talking about how the officiating is they're letting them play, and I think they're doing it around the league. It's not just that.
Yeah.
Is that kind of thing contributing now? We're going to get more of that as far as, if you're going to go ahead. These guys are these guys are 6'10" and 280 pounds. If they're going at each other like that, are we going to get more of these things because they're letting it go?
Oh, well, I think so, and I think especially because it's been so non-physical during the regular season.
Yes, it's basically
and now all of
yeah.
a sudden it's like, holy cow! What he's hitting me and stuff.
It's a tea party in the regular season. It's a food fight now.
Yeah.
Basically what we got. We got a food fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think that's maybe they'll adjust as they go. I mean, the players more than the officials. I like the physical play. I like the game. It's a
You
little.
like it.
I
This
don't
like
like seeing people-
1992 grinded out basketball.
Well, I don't like that, but
Oh.
I like the idea that somebody will score more than 100 points, regardless.
Yeah.
But at least baskets are earned for the most part.
Yeah.
You don't see very many just unchallenged shots.
The Kings are shooting
I
like
mean,
they're in the 90s. They're not making any baskets.
yeah,
so
it's
that's
like
the
Curry.
problem.
I mean, the difference in the game is a guy like Curry can take and make tough shots.
Yeah,
You know, and get shots when he's well guarded. It's like, duh, this guy is really good.
You know what that
good.
reminds me of?
Really good.
And this is when I think you were probably an assistant, may have been the head coach for part of this, but Phantom may remember Carl's Juniors. I think they had a promotion. If the
Oh,
Kings
yeah.
score 110 and win,
Yes.
you get a free
yeah.
superstar. Whatever.
Well, whatever it was, yes.
yeah. And then it's got to the point it's like they are never scoring 110 and
No.
winning. So then it was just if they score 105 and win or whatever. And then pretty soon it's just like if they win, you get a bird.
Yeah,
Then it was if
they score.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
if they score a basket.
I never didn't get that.
Yeah.
The first quarter they have to make a three. Nope, sorry, no
yeah.
way.
Yeah, as far as
I always hated it when I was in college one year where the fans would stand until you scored.
Yeah,
And, we had we were a good team, and so it didn't happen very often. But there's a couple games it's like, sit down, would you? It just make it
go
worse.
for 7 to
Yeah.
start the game. And oh God,
Oh, God, yeah.
on how physical it is, my wife was asking me yesterday. She said, Sabonis, he's not dirty, is he? And my response to that is, he better be, or he's not going to survive, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they all
But there's
have
a
to know
difference
that-
between physical and dirty.
yeah,
Or is there not
I mean,
in the
there's
playoffs?
Tricks of the trade. That's what
Yeah.
I love about Looney, because there was all this talk, and I don't even know what using the basketball as a weapon. I don't know what that means. Did you hear that? There
Yeah.
was something out of someone in the Warriors organization is upset that he's throwing his elbows and using the basketball as
Yeah.
a weapon, and I've never heard of that. So they asked Looney, and he goes, I'm okay with it. That's kind of what we do down there. Hopefully the whistles will go my way. But, yeah, you kind of have to do that to play in the post in the NBA.
Well, yeah, there's grown men down there.
Yeah,
and that's what they do, and so that's what they've always done. You see them down there wrestling and grabbing. Like I say, it's a guy scores a basket around the hoop, especially a big guy. He's been more than touched once or twice.
Yes,
and
you
then
gotta earn it.
You got
somebody
scratches
shooting a
all
three,
over his body,
and the defender runs by a guy shooting a three and touches his trunks, and he gets to shoot 3 free throws. Anyway, but that's just I'm just a little. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's why, you talk about they have Curry and he made the shots and everything, but they also had Looney, who was just his sole objective is I'm going to just go get every ball.
Yeah.
And you shoot it, I'm going to go get it, and then to your point earlier, I'm going to find somebody who can shoot it better than me and give it to him.
Hey, there's Steph Curry. He's open.
Hey, wait,
there you go.
he's the greatest shooter of all time. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and to the to his rebound, obviously offensive rebounding, that's one thing, but the defensive rebound, there are a lot of rebounds to get.
There are. Well, in this series, there are a lot.
So
Right.
there were
Yes.
a lot to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, in Sabonis in the first half, I think he had 14.
Yeah.
I know. I saw that at the halftime box. I was like, wow.
Because, that was a stretch where the Warriors weren't making any shots, and so,
First quarters, there have been a lot of rebounds.
Yeah,
The first
rebounds are
quarters
like
have-
assists.
Yeah.
You can't get a lot of them if everybody's making their shots.
Let me ask you about this, Mr. Basketball. Put
Yes.
this in perspective for us.
Oh, okay, no
NBA
problem.
history was made in that game last
Yes.
night. Steph Curry made 6 threes. All 6 of them were 28 feet or further, and that's the most 28-point three-pointers
Oh, God.
anyone's ever made.
Did
in the
he
NBA
get
playoffs.
more than 3 points for any one of those shots?
No.
Okay, then. You're hard to tell me Steph Curry's the greatest shooter that we've ever seen.
20.
I-
20. He used
28.
to. Guy made a 28-footer. He made 6 of them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He does it all the
See,
time.
I think 3 of them were 27.
I agree. I saw a replay of one.
I'll
and
go
I
ahead
thought,
and measure.
It's not that far.
That's like talking about get tape measure homers. Do they count any more than 325-foot homers?
Of course not.
Yeah.
But the point is, and you guys know this better than I do, there's a time you took one of those shots and you'd be sitting down,
Yeah.
right? Guy
That's
took a
because
27-footer.
that
Hey,
guy-
sit down and watch.
Yeah,
And he's
I was
making
told to sit down many
6
times.
28-footers.
We didn't have 3 pointers. I was still told to sit down.
Yeah.
But he
No.
changed the game. He's one of the most influential players. that's
Yeah, and
ever
he
played.
and he wouldn't have
changed
done
the
that
game.
the first couple of years he's in the league either.
No, I know.
He wasn't.
His ankles wouldn't
He wasn't
hold him,
officially
no.
Steph Curry then.
I know.
Here's little Stevie Curry.
Well, that's and you've confirmed it. One of my favorite basketball stories is that the Bucks and the Warriors making that trade, and the Warriors going to get Bogut. It's like, all right, Milwaukee, who do you want, Monte Ellis or Steph Curry? Right? We know that. You know that.
Yeah.
But they had that
Yeah,
choice.
that's there, yeah.
That Curry guy's got the bad ankles. Yeah. Nice try, Warriors. We'll take Monte Ellis.
scoring 20 points a
Yeah, Monte gets you 20.
Yeah, he's going to get us 20. What do we want, ankle boy over
And,
here?
and he did, I think, for a
Sure.
year or two. I
Yeah.
mean, that's also true.
Uh-huh.
But you'd rather have had the other guy.
I think so. I think so.
But no, who knew that then?
Who knew that?
Who knew that then?
Yeah,
Besides maybe
yeah.
Steph Curry.
Are there anything else going on in any other series, Mr. Basketball, that
I
have
was
your rapt
very
attention?
yes. Yesterday,
All my troubles seem
Suns,
so
Clippers are tied at 1. Mm-hmm. Kawhi, as we've said on this show, is amazing.
Amazing.
And then you're scrolling through the Twitter because that's where I get my news. Kawhi Leonard's not playing. What? He's not playing? I mean, even with Kawhi Leonard, I never saw that coming. He's been great the first 2 games. They're coming back home. They've got a chance to go up 2-1 in the Suns, and Kawhi Leonard's not playing. I was stunned by that.
Well, sadly, I wasn't. I mean, that's a sad part. It's like, do we have load management in playoffs now?
I don't
yeah,
know
I see
what
where
we
you're
have.
going.
He
I
said
just
sore
assumed that
knee.
he must be really hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, his
I-
knees are so bad. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm hoping he took off yesterday so he can play more coming up. I'm hoping. Because, I mean, that's a great series. I mean, it's still a great game yesterday because my guy Norman Powell
Yeah,
had 40
Norman.
points or something. But still, Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant, man, you just want to see that.
I think he injured his knee in that commercial with Jack Harlow because Kawhi had to really, really work hard to beat Jack Harlow 101.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because of the white men can't jump thing.
yeah. But Fano, I know what you mean, but when I read that, I thought, wow, Kawhi is really, his knee must
I just
really
never
be
saw that
messed up.
coming because he was playing the first 2 games and he was fine, right? So I just hopefully was going to get Kawhi Leonard for a series or 2 and then just have him. Well, he's not going to play. It stunned me.
Who do you think, who's better right now? Devin Booker or Kevin Durant?
Well, Booker's better right now.
I think so, huh? Yeah, yeah,
Today,
yeah.
Will he be in a week if they're still playing, or 2 weeks? I doubt it. But
You feel like Durant's still kind of ramping back
I think
up?
he's still trying to fit in,
Yeah.
maybe to a fault, which I understand. I mean, that's what he should do. You don't take, it's like, hey, these guys have been here together.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, and I think it is to his credit because, I mean, he can try to fit in and still get 27 a game, but
Booker's
to your answer,
phenomenal.
Booker is a basket getter.
Yeah, yeah.
Their minutes are worrying me, though. They're both in the mid-40s, a couple of games already now. And
You're just the guy that said you don't like it when people
I know, I don't
sit
like
out
it when-
sore knee.
Well, yeah, I don't. I don't like it with Kawhi Leonard. I'm not saying they have sore knees. I'm saying if they're planning on going further in this playoffs, in the second round, usually game and then day off and then game, you got guys playing 40 minutes in the first round. I think it's going to wear on them because, ironically, as Alanis Morissette would say, all the guys they need for a long playoff run, they traded away to get Kevin Durant to make the playoffs. So they're in a kind of a conundrum right there.
Well, they are, because if they don't play them 40 minutes, they won't be long
Yes,
playoffs.
Exactly.
They won't
Exactly,
have.
Jim.
They
It's a
have
tough
to play
series
them.
for
This
him.
guy
Yeah.
knows what he's talking about over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You don't have the luxury of
Well, that's
massaging the
what
minutes.
worries me. Then, if you're a Suns fan, you're sitting there going, "Well, we're playing these guys 40 minutes, 45 minutes." That's
You
a
sound
lot.
like you're a closet Suns fan.
I was a Suns fan in 1970, but that's not the point right here. I was just trying to project them further, because what happens then is if you give them this victory over the Clippers, if they get it, then they're going into a series probably against the Nuggets. They will be going to altitude. They'll have to play a game every other day, and they have guys who have played 40 minutes. The two main guys have played 40 minutes. You don't know what you're getting from Chris Paul. We overlook Denver all the time, and all of a sudden Denver has a pretty good road to make it to the finals.
Well, I do think, though, I think all good players, when you get in the playoffs, play more minutes. They always have. The bench bench gets tighter, less minutes, and you go with your best players because, generally speaking, you don't have back-to-backs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a less concern. And
You just don't have that luxury of fiddling with that in that series for the Suns, right? It's like, we
and
gotta
really,
win
I
the
mean, you
series.
look at Durant. I mean, he's so heavy and fat, he probably wear
Right,
down.
yeah.
wouldn't he?
Well,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought
yeah.
of that. Yeah.
So are you the one that named him the Slim Reaper?
No,
Yeah,
I wish I
okay.
would have.
Yeah.
I wish I would have. I like that one. Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Dylan Brooks saying LeBron's old?
What does he got? He doesn't impress me until he gives me 40 or something like that. Is what he said.
Yeah.
You may get impressed.
I
yeah.
don't, but I don't listen to him anymore. I mean, you already tuned him out.
Dylan
because
Brooks?
He just said some stupid stuff without any cred at all, really.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that, yes, LeBron is old, and he's not as good as he once was, but he's way better than you, Dylan.
even
I think
now,
when-
even at 40,
Yeah,
40,
yes.
he will be better.
70-year-old LeBron will be better
Yes,
than Dylan
yes,
Brooks
yeah,
right now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, certainly well into his 50s, I think.
Okay, yeah, 70,
Okay, maybe
70
not
might,
70.
might
70
be
might
pushing
be
it.
an exaggeration, but 56 certainly, absolutely.
So poke the bear if you want. You know.
Yeah.
The old saying, you mess with the truck, you might get dumped. You know.
That is an old saying that I love. I've always said that one. I got a T-shirt.
Did you guys happen to see the poll in The Athletic? NBA players were asked a number of questions, including who's the most overrated player in the league. Did you happen to see that? You probably did.
I
see it.
heard it. I think Trae Young was on that list.
Trae
right?
Young was
would be
number
Number
one.
one, yeah.
Yeah, you agree with that? Trae Young was up there.
Yeah, I
Number
think
two
so.
was interesting, but I can't remember who it was. So
No,
Wait, that's my job. Come on. What, are you switching
I'm
bodies
the one,
over here?
I'm the one that can't remember
Yeah.
stuff. Come
I know
on.
the most underrated was Drew Holiday, but to me right now,
No.
and I'm not an NBA player anymore, but if they ask me,
No, you're not.
No,
not anymore.
I can't remember my name, but
Yeah, to me the most underrated player in the league is Kevon Looney because he's unbelievable.
today
Yeah.
it is. Well,
Because
Drew
he's like,
Holiday's-
who's that guy? I've never heard of him.
But Drew
He's got
Holiday's-
20 rebounds.
He's not underrated anymore because everybody knows how good he is because everybody's told you how
well,
underrated
that's what
he is.
happens. I mean,
he's so good.
He's been so underrated for so long. He's not underrated anymore.
and he's making all-star teams and stuff and winning
but
titles.
He sure,
so, a
yeah.
title.
I think the most overrated player in the league to me is Bradley Beal. I really believe it. I mean, he's still given this vaunted status as some sort of superstar that
Right.
that
Elite,
that
yeah.
that every team should be trying to trade for, and it's like, why?
Right.
Why? So I can pay $50 million for
Yeah.
17 a game, 50 games a year?
Yeah.
And then pay 55
That's a great
million.
plan.
The next year pay 55 and then 60. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not his fault he got all that money, but
No,
still,
no.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he didn't sign him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he just signed the contract. He didn't offer it.
He didn't sign himself to the contract.
Yeah, right.
Basically, someone offered it to him.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pay myself $50
Well,
million.
and we might notice that the general manager since is no longer having that position.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Maybe that had something to do with it.
I think it had a lot to do with it.
NBA players were asked, what's the biggest issue facing the league right now? Load management was number 2.
I bet I know what
Number
one.
2, what was
Yeah.
Number one's the whistles, right?
Officiating is
yeah.
right,
The players-
Mr. Basketball.
The players don't like the refs. Yeah. And in these 3 games of this series, I don't think the refs have been the. I don't blame
the refs.
Certainly not yesterday. It's
now,
like,
if
the Kings didn't get any call. No, I don't think it was the refs yesterday.
If you ask the refs, they say the biggest problem in the league is the players.
they don't ask them.
they
Nobody
didn't
polls the
print
refs. Yeah, nobody cares what the refs think.
Is the whininess and bitchiness of the players, and the second would be load management.
Yes.
The refs, man.
And the refs would say, we want some load management.
We want to call fouls on the good players, not on the bad players.
They had a whole list of things that players said, and the one that really stood out to me is players, what's the biggest issue facing the league? And 2.8%, something like that, said, there aren't enough teams. And I just thought that's so funny because NBA players are like, we need more jobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then you play more games. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't
So there
that
need to
funny?
be 40 teams
There aren't
then?
enough teams. I read that like, wait, what? I did not expect to see that on
probably
the
the
list.
fringe players that are like, I'm going to get cut. I need another
I'm
team.
telling you right now, I think Reading should have a team.
Oh, man. The Reading, Red Bluff, Chico.
yeah,
a nice
yeah,
little
you could
thing.
just
Yeah.
have a-
Yeah.
Fantastic area
Yeah,
up
I
there.
mean, Green Bay can have a football team. Why can't Reading or maybe
I don't know why
or
not.
Des Moines, Iowa?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
mean, come on.
Did you
French
hear-
Lick?
everything going on.
You could play some games in French. Lick,
You'd have to play some because that's a
some.
great fan base.
Yeah,
there.
Evansville, Indiana, play most of them in Evansville.
Right.
Then you take a couple to Owensboro
Yeah.
and then some to French.
French
Lick.
Lick's got all the,
Got a
the
regional
hotels and
franchise.
everything.
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
and the spa and the hot springs.
You hear about the A's? Maybe it looks like they're going to Vegas. And
Yeah.
I know Mayor Steinberg has said, we're keeping an eye on that. What I hear is
We're
that
keeping an eye on
Yeah,
that.
we're keeping an eye on it.
Oh, okay, because we're okay.
Powers
great.
that be, they never would allow MLB baseball here because they said Jerry doesn't like baseball anymore, so it won't fly.
That was the main thing
It
that
won't
I'd
fly.
heard.
If Jerry's not a baseball fan, we got no chance of making it fly. in
Get Reynolds to
Sacramento.
sign off on it, and
Yes.
it's a done deal.
Yes.
I will sign off on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there, I don't want people at my house
They're going to be
protesting.
picketing outside your
Yeah,
house.
no,
Bring
no,
baseball
I'll sign
back.
off on it. I'll
Yeah.
even chip in a little money.
Wow.
Whoa.
You do like the new rules, right?
Yeah, I will chip in some money if you two leave me alone.
I'll leave you alone if you go to a baseball game with us.
A
I
pot-
will.
at least
Okay.
a
All right.
Potter's game. Come on, start there.
Yeah, I think a Potter's game. If Whitey goes,
Why he's got to come out and do a broadcast a game like he does every year.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
he comes out and takes over for 9
I mean,
innings.
that's terrific. I was thinking like A's or Giants
Yeah,
game. but
well,
that-
the A's aren't here anymore, so we can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Potter's.
Yeah.
Well, my
okay.
favorite
That'll
on
be
that
fun.
was they
Yeah.
said, the stadium might be ready by 2027 or something like that. So,
Well, they should go right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
Yeah, just go. If you're going to
just
go.
I mean,
Yeah,
they could play in the
yeah.
AAA stadium
Play
and,
wherever,
and
just go.
and triple their attendance day
Yeah.
one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, and then also get probably better players than they're going to see now if they go to the AAA.
I mean, just take the players. I mean, it would be all the same, really. You
Well,
wouldn't have
no-
to even take the players, but
When the Oilers left Houston, the plan was,
was
we don't
sad.
have our stadium ready for a while, so we're going to go in 2 years. And the fans of Houston said, "Screw it, we don't care." They had to
Yes,
leave because
exactly.
the fans said, "We don't care. We're not supporting you at all." And they had to go there early and play in where they have to play. They had to play in Memphis or somewhere before their stadium was ready. So I hope that's what happens with the Raiders.
do
Were
too.
able to kind of linger. If the A's are leaving, then as far as I'm concerned, go.
Just
Goodbye.
go.
Yeah.
Go.
I mean, the 3,300 people that have been supporting them won't come to games,
Or
right?
Right.
just take them with you. They
Yeah.
just go with you. Move them too.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap it up here, any thoughts on Game 4 between the Sacramento Kings and the defending champion Golden State Warriors?
Well, I'm going to be optimistic. I think they're going to start making their threes, and I think Coach Brown will make some adjustments. Obviously, you learn from losses, more from losses than wins, and that's why I'm as smart as I am. I've learned.
But you didn't learn enough from your losses to turn them into wins later. did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I was just.
I mean, I learned so much that it's too late to.
they made you
know.
the general manager.
I was going in Saturday in the Jerry Reynolds media entrance, and it's very
Fantastic.
nice. And they got a poster Jerry don't know if you've seen it. It's like a movie poster, has all the things that he's done.
Awesome.
Then you go inside and there's pictures of him on the wall as a broadcaster. And there's one where his players, and I can't quite tell what's going on, they're like lifting him on their shoulders and they're in elation.
Yes.
And I thought, I bet you he knows what game that is because there probably weren't that many like that, were there?
Whoa!
No, I know exactly when that game was.
Yeah.
It was the final game of the year when I'd taken over as interim for the first time, and
Yeah.
we'd beaten the Denver Nuggets at home. And
Nice.
Oh, they're
and-
seriously so happy.
And
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah, and I remember, I only had to pay Tank and Reggie a couple $100 to carry me around.
Yeah,
you
Tank
know?
could do it by himself.
He could
anyway,
have done it
just
by
put you on the
himself, but I
shoulder,
thought
yeah.
you'd want the group look.
And you want to pay Reggie too.
Yeah,
you don't want to leave Reggie.
Well, I mean, like I say, you don't want just one guy.
Yeah.
You want
carries
No. I said, hey, come on.
Come on, Gary, let's go.
All
Jump
you guys get in here
Oh,
now.
get Klein
Yeah.
in there. He's not
Yeah.
doing anything.
Yeah.
He's not tired.
I talked to Harold this week. Harold said that Jerry had this kind of this 5 out, everybody shoot threes. The Kings actually were ahead of their time. They started doing that a little bit. And Harold says we had success with him and Vinny and Ricky Berry. And then Dick Motta came in and then they went back to old school. But, we kid about Jerry all the time. But I really do think looking back on that, I think you were onto something. I think you were ahead of your time.
Well, I just out of desperation, we didn't have a low post game, and so and we weren't good defensively, so I thought maybe we can outscore people, which we were onto something there. I mean, I always thought if Ricky hadn't taken his life and Purvis Ellison had actually wanted to play basketball when he was the first pick,
Oh, that would have
we
been
were
helpful, yeah.
we were probably going to be a pretty good team.
Purvis lived near you, didn't he?
Yeah, we were close. Yeah. He was a good guy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he really was. He's a delightful guy. Just one little minor flaw: he didn't like playing basketball.
Yeah.
And yet he was drafted as a basketball player.
Basketball.
Bad
player.
luck there.
That happens more than you might think.
Mostly
Wasn't
with
he a
the-
20
to
and
the
10
Kings.
guy in Washington one year?
Yeah, one year got a new contract, and then that ended that.
Mr. Basketball, game 4?
I'm
thoughts?
I'm a little bit
No?
hesitant because
No thoughts?
No, that's me today. No,
Yeah.
it's just we're not shooting the ball well, and then they're changing the game time to 12:30. Creatures of habit; they don't like to play 12:30 in the afternoon. I'm a little worried about that, or maybe that will break them out of their rhythms, and they'll come out and shoot well.
Well,
I'm
see,
just
it's
a
more
little worried about
it's
that,
more
Jerry.
like a regular practice time. See?
Well, yeah, but at practice you're not putting it all out there like.
Oh
a
no,
game,
the Kings
though.
make shots in practice.
Oh, they
Yeah.
do. Okay,
Yeah.
well maybe that's perfect. That 12:30 worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I said before, not a lot I saw yesterday gives me hope for Sunday. But then, like you say, you learn a lot from losses, and they really lost. So maybe they come out and do something.
Well, it's like the Warriors did. They made some adjustments. I think it's easier to, obviously, to get the attention of your players after a stinker like that. So, I think we might see just a big upset, buddy. Everybody's
3-1 lead? Wow.
Everybody's turned on the young Kingies, and maybe just a little too soon here. Maybe a little too soon.
I haven't turned on him, but I do want to see more from our guy Sabonis.
Yeah, I
I
do
mean,
too.
you know-
He's got to be, more inclined just to take the open shots. Take what the defense gives you. Don't try to create when there's nothing to create.
Yeah, because that if you take those and make a couple of them, hopefully, then that's going to change the way they approach you, and that hopefully opens something up of the stuff that you're usually able to do, and you'll be able to do.
So
it.
you said you don't like him leading the break, which I
I
understand,
don't.
but I don't like when there's nothing going on. I'm going to dribble him back down my
No,
man.
I don't like that
because
either.
then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, turnover.
And I think that's what the Warriors are waiting for because, then they all just congregate on him, and he doesn't get the ball out quick enough. And even if he did, as we've talked about, the two-parter, you take the shot, you make the shot, and we're missing 50% of that.
Well, and two, if all of a sudden you're starting to make your threes, he can do his little crab back, and they will be less likely to get to him. And it's still, because he can find the shooter, as opposed to. Like I got to go score on 3 guys because they're not worried about those guys out there shooting threes and making them.
I love that, his little crab back.
His crab back,
I love that.
exactly. I
Thank
like
you,
that.
Coach.
Very creative.
Well done,
player.
Yeah,
Coach. Well done.
yeah.
I'm glad we got you here.
We'll see you next time. Monday at 4.
Monday at 4. Don't miss it. Tell your friends.
Hello, Fashion 3.
Thank you for joining the Old Fashioned 3 on Stones Radio Networks. To stay updated on the show, like and subscribe on YouTube, and all shows are available for download on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and of course at stonesradionetworks.com. Follow the show and the gents on Twitter at OL, Fashion, and the number 3, at Phantom Radio 60, and at Whitey Gleason. This has been a production of Stones Radio Networks.